Hello all, this is my most recent week of what I've worn perfume wise. Before I get into it, I just want to let you guys know, just because I'm not sure if everyone's aware of the way that YouTube works, but I've got 200 and something videos on my channel now, but I don't have even 600 subscribers. So until you have over 1,000 subscribers, you don't get any money from the adverts or anything like that run automatically on channels, or views and that kind of thing doesn't really make any difference until you've got 1,000 and over subscriptions. So what I decided to do, just because everything in the world is just so expensive at the moment, and I'm currently kind of using money from perfumes that I don't want to keep, that I sell on eBay, to buy other stuff so that I can try it out and review it for the channel, all that kind of thing. But I thought, just to see how it goes, I've set up a Buy Me a Coffee account. So it's buymeacoffee.com/fusspots. I'll have a link to it in all my videos going forward, not in the actual videos because I'm not going to harass you about this, but just like in the little description in case anyone wants to help kind of fund perfumes for me. So it's more like buy me a perfume. But if you are interested in helping me fund the perfumes that I get for this channel, then you can find a link down below. But thank you very much to everyone who subscribes and everyone who watches me. I really appreciate it, because this is such a fun hobby and I really like making these videos, and I've still got loads more to come. Anyway, on to the lovely week of perfumes. So spring still really hasn't sprung in the UK yet. It's I've kind of been dipping in a little bit to my spring scents, and there's some really, I've just made a video about spring perfumes that I've been excited to wear, and I've kind of been holding on to specifically for when the weather changes. That's going to be out on Wednesday, and if you've seen my little short, for some reason it doesn't ever happen with YouTube for me, but for some reason it uploaded. I must have pressed something and it was published immediately before it was edited and before I had any information about what about what was in it. But anyway, that's now ready to go. That'll be out on Wednesday, and I've worn a couple of those already, but it's still cold. It's still cold, it's still grey, it's still rainy, it's still windy. It's just, it doesn't feel very spring-like yet in the UK, but I feel like hopefully it's going to take a sudden turn, it happens quite often. So anyway, I've still been going for kind of more cosy and comforting perfumes a lot of the time. So I started with Saturday, and I wore this one all day. This is Cerruti 1881. This is a classic old late 90s or early 2000s perfume. It's super feminine, it's very musky, there's a lot of sandalwood in it, there's some vanilla in it, but I find that this is a very floral and chamomile forward, like powdery, musky perfume. It's super pretty. It's like, it actually has a fair bit of projection. It lasts for a really long time. This is one that gets it's a little bit too strong for me to wear when it gets warmer. So you might notice I've worn a couple of things that I think probably as soon as the weather changes will be put to the back of my cupboard. So Cerruti normally has a lovely kind of round lid on the top, but this is a big tester bottle, so it's so pretty. It's just very cozy. I'm not entirely sure it's a safe blind buy unless you know that you like kind of really musky, like bar soapy musks, not animalic at all, like kind of clean bar soapy florally kind of perfumes, and then it's a safe blind buy, but otherwise maybe not. So top notes here are mimosa, iris, rose, freesia, violet, lily of the valley, jasmine and bergamot. There's a lot because obviously all of the old school perfumes have so many notes. Middle notes of chamomile, iris, narcissus, geranium, galbanum, coriander, jasmine, Brazilian rosewood, orange blossom and tuberose. Base notes of musk, sandalwood, cedar, amber and vanilla. So I wore that one all day because it's super cozy. It's really feminine, really just pretty. It's sweet. I always feel kind of yeah, I mean, I guess I feel kind of sexy, but in quite a kind of cozy way, like not in like a femme fatale way, in a kind of gentle, soft way when I wear that one. So then on Sunday, like I said, I was kind of breaking into the spring perfumes, and this maybe is more of a summer perfume, but I had the heating on full, so I was like, oh, I just want to wear it because I'd just made my rose perfume. So this is Jill Sander Sunlight, and this is the grapefruit and rose flanker from that collection. This is such a massive, heavy, thick glass bottle. It's actually really nice. It's got a very kind of plasticky lid, but super pretty. There's a very tonal kind of, yeah, matches the Cerruti in terms of the kind of pale pink tone, and it smells like a nude colour. Yeah, there's only 3 notes listed for this, and unlike a lot of other Jill Sander perfumes, it actually does smell like 3 notes, because sometimes I smell Jill Sander perfumes and it doesn't list a huge amount, and I'm like, oh, there's definitely vanilla in that, or there's definitely ambroxan in that, or, you know. This one, it has top note rose, middle note grapefruit, base note orange, and that is basically what I get from this, except that the way round I get it when I wear it, and it smells way better on the skin than it does on card or from the bottle. This one is top note, I just get grapefruit straight away, and then rose comes through, and then the deep dry down is a really beautiful kind of not too sharp orange, like a really nice kind of rosy orange. So, I mean, it's really pretty. It's very simple. It's very light. It doesn't I mean, I think I could smell this on me maybe for 3 hours. I imagine it might be a little bit better than that in hot weather, but this is quite a cheap perfume. You can still get this from Direct Cosmetics. And actually, I just realised they've added the original Sunlight as well, which it's not necessarily one that I want. I don't like the look of the notes as much as this one, but I think they're both $9.99. So then in the evening, so this was quite late in the evening. This is, the Jill Sander had completely worn off by that point. Oh, I just fancied it. And again, at some point this will get too sweet for me to wear it when it gets hotter. This is Al Nuaim Chocolate Musk. You can't find this. I don't think there's any Al Nuaims listed on Fragrantica, but I always go to Google to go and find the notes. So this one, let's see. It says cocoa, chocolate, caramel, musk, orange flower, vanilla, ylang ylang. It's a bit more specific in some of it, and it mentions a caramel, vanilla, cocoa, and chocolate praline. But it definitely, to me, has it doesn't smell expensive, but I love this one, and my husband always likes the smell of this, and my stepson commented when he was here and I was wearing this. He can kind of smell it from across the flat, so it's obviously got a decent projection. This one lasts for quite a long time as well. It's very sweet. It's got a kind of toffee vibe about it. So it's almost more like toffee wrapped in a thin layer of chocolate, so it's more like a toffee musk than a chocolate musk, but it's just so delicious. I just love that one. And then keeping it tonally kind of nude coloured, on Monday to work I was sort of saying goodbye to one of my true loves in terms of this is definitely going to be too sweet for me soon. This is Stash Unspoken by Sarah Jessica Parker. Absolutely love this one, where it loads when it's cold. It's my kind of comfort blanket, second skin perfume when it's cold weather. So top notes of quince and pink pepper, middle notes honeysuckle, peony, wisteria, base notes tonka bean, sandalwood, musk, and olabanum. So I mean, to me, tonka bean is the strongest thing here, and then you've got the sandalwood and the honeysuckle, and I think those are the things I mainly smell in this perfume. It's absolutely gorgeous. I think they've got this for about £12 on Direct Cosmetics at the moment, and I saw it for somewhere else for that much, for 100ml. It's madness. And then I moved on Tuesday to wear my kind of summer second skin. I love this perfume, which is Katy Perry's Indi. Now, that's cheap. This is even cheaper. You can get 3 bottles, 3 30ml bottles of this for £6.99, which is madness. I really think the bottle is cool. I really think it's got a beautiful, cold, musky vibe about this, and I always say it, I know everyone doesn't get the same thing. This just smells like coconut cream to me. Like, it properly smells like coconut cream. I always think of it as a sandalwood perfume, and I often say sandalwood because it smells like sandalwood to me, but it says white cedar extract in the notes. So the notes here are plum, white tea, and bergamot. there's something about the white tea in this that I feel just makes it so cozy, slightly aromatic. Middle notes, white cedar extract, lily of the valley and cyclamen. I wouldn't have particularly known there was any florals. When I know there's plum, I kind of can see that a little bit more. I don't get a massive amount of bergamot. It's not massively citrusy to me. Base notes, musk, white musk, black musk, Egyptian musk, island musk, tonka bean and amber. A lot of tonka bean. Even though there's amber in it, I feel like the white musk in this makes it kind of cold. I always feel when I spray this on that it feels like it's been in the fridge or something. It's just, I love it. And actually, weirdly, I was sitting next to someone on the tube recently who was wearing something that was either Indi or smelt just like Indi. And this is why I always think of it as a sandalwood perfume, is I've smelt some of the kind of Santal blush, for instance, and the Santal that's Van Cleef & Arpels. I can't remember what this is actually called. They smell very similar to Indi to me, so that's why I always think of it as a sandalwood perfume, even though it clearly isn't a sandalwood perfume. Okay, and so then let me just put this one over here. Oh, it's such a cool bottle. I really love Katy Perry's Indi. And as I said last time I was talking about it, I think it's a really cool smell. Well, what is cool, but you know what I mean. This is in my spring list and I couldn't wait to wear it. I was super excited. I actually, when I properly reviewed this the first time, or when it was in one of my other videos, I dropped it and it bounced on the lid and now the lid's all deformed. Never mind. So this is Ted Baker. This is XO Extraordinary Woman. And I really like this perfume. I won't go on about it too much because it's going to be in my Wednesday video, but it's a tuberose perfume that is really light, spring-like, easy to wear. It's not too sweet, but there's nothing in it to mess with it too much. And wearing it again and really thinking about it, firstly, it actually, on me, this lasted pretty well. So I think I could still easily smell this on my skin for like 6 hours. I could smell it on my clothes for longer, so I didn't really need to reapply this. Depending on how strong you want it, right? But because it's quite noticeable because of the tuberose, I think I put it on when I left work and I could smell it all day. I wore it all day. So this has top notes of African orange flower, middle notes tuberose, gardenia and jasmine, base notes heliotrope and musk. There's something juicy about it, but you really get in a deep dry down that heliotrope smell. So it's almost like it's been sweetened with something that has an almondy vibe, but it's very much a fresh, slightly watery tuberose perfume. It's super cheap. I really like it. It's not cloyingly sweet. There's no kind of over the top wood. There's no over the top patchouli. So I mean, I sometimes try other tuberose perfumes, but to be honest, this is the one I've liked best out of nearly all tuberose perfumes I've smelt. It has the same kind of tuberose that you get in the Dior Poison perfumes. So if you don't like Poison, but you like the kind of tuberose in that perfume, you like the plum and tuberose vibe, then this is almost like those bits taken out of, you know. So yeah, it's exactly the kind of tuberose that I really enjoy. And then, so what day are we on? Thursday. This is another one. I was going to put it in my spring video, but I decided, because this is in my Christmas video, to go for something else. But was it in my Christmas video? It might have been. So this is So Sweet by Lolita Lempicka, and this is the sweet flanker that's kind of easier to wear in warmer weather because it's lighter, it's brighter, it's more tangy, and it doesn't have the chocolate, so it's not as syrupy, although it is still very sweet, which is why it's called So Sweet. So top notes, raspberry leaf, sour cherry, mandarin orange, middle notes, iris, rose and angelica, base notes, musk, cashmere and amberwood. And I do think it depends on the weather for this one. When I've worn it in colder weather, the florals come out a bit more, and then in hotter weather, it's mainly the fruits that I get. But it's a very kind of, it's like a Haribo sour cherry, but with a hint of kind of raspberry. So it's really berry forward, really nice, really cherry vibe, like really smells like a sort of sweetie. And then you have that rose and iris, I think in particular here. So you get a slight makeup-y floral vibe in it as well. It's so pretty. I wore this one all day again. I wasn't playing too much this week. I didn't like do too many multiple perfumes, you know. Oh, so pretty. Although today is Saturday and I feel like I might have gone through 3 today by the time I actually get to going to bed. So that's so sweet. I really like that one. That's another one, I think on Notino at the moment, that's like mega cheap. I think you can get it for like about £15 at the moment for a 30ml, which is quite good for the Lolita Lempickas. And then on Friday, again, I was wondering when this one might start getting a bit too sweet for me to wear. So this is Rive, My Only Wish. And this is their dupe of Cacharel's Yes I Am. And it's an incredibly good dupe. It smells exactly like it. The longevity and the actual projection and strength of it is like maybe half, if that, of the real Yes I Am. But I find the real Yes I Am can be slightly overpowering for me personally, because I'm obviously a bit of a fusspot and I tend to like slightly lighter perfumes. But also, it's in the Cacharel version, it has a very slight pencil shaving vibe to the wood in it, and I don't get that one in this Rive version. And so I've also got another one, which I decided actually, I had the Pascal Morabito Amer. That's the one I had here at home, and then I took this one to work. But what I realised is you can't really get Amer anywhere anymore. So I've taken that one into work, and then when I'm at home, if I wear this, I can talk to you about My Only Wish. They smell so similar. They both smell like dupes of Yes I Am. So top notes here are raspberry, tangerine, lemon, bergamot. Middle notes ginger, flower, gardenia, orange blossom, jasmine, amber and rose. Base notes caramel, cardamom, milk, coumarin, licorice, vanilla, benzoin, sandalwood and amber. So there's a lot of notes here. They're pretty much identical to the Yes I Am notes, and you get a creamy milkiness. You definitely get the caramel in the dry down. You've got this kind of unusual spicy mixture of like a gingery scent, and then a licorice, and then kind of the benzoin warmth, and kind of the cardamom I always find gives like a plasticky smell, so it almost has that plastic doll smell about it, which I kind of enjoy. But it's very raspberry forward, and I think the main difference, apart from the longevity and the strength, so just the potency of it, is My Only Wish I think is a little bit stronger in the raspberry, so it's just a tiny bit more fruity. But apart from that, it smells pretty much exactly the same. Absolutely delicious. I wore that all day, but as I say, it doesn't last particularly long. And so I then, let me just move these around a little bit. I then came home and I thought, okay, what shall I put on? And because I'd been to Lush, I will talk to you more about that. So what I wore in the evening was this one, and I'll explain why. Okay, this is Friction Night for Her. One of my subscribers suggested this to me, and I got it for about a tenner. This massive bottle. I mean, I don't need a bottle this big, but you can't really get it in smaller bottles. So this is by French Connection UK, so FCUK. I was thinking about this one last night because on my way home from work, I went to Lush because it was payday yesterday, and I wanted to go and look at the Mario collection. And I was also wanting to finally pick up a bottle of American Cream. I've wanted that perfume for ages. I think it's really pretty. But I'll talk to you about that next week, if I actually wear it, you know. So I went in there and I did put a bit of American Cream on, you know, just to make sure that I wasn't going to make a mistake, you know. And when I got home, I was sniffing it and I thought to myself, oh, there's something about it that reminds me of something else in my collection. And not because they smell exactly the same, they just sort of have a vibe of each other. In fact, 2 things popped into my head. So the first one was this FCUK Friction Night for Her, and the other one was the Pascal Morabito Pure Perle. So this one, I always feel like when I first got it, I thought it smelled like violet. I couldn't believe that violet isn't in these notes. And I also feel like this has a Coca-Cola vibe. It feels like there is a cola note in this, more so than perfumes I smell that actually have a cola note in them. And it kind of lasts. It continues to smell a bit like cola, but then it dries down and gets really, really sweet and creamy. So the notes on this are top notes of pepper, amyris and bergamot, middle notes of fig, jasmine and neroli, base notes tonka bean, musk and woodsy notes. And honestly, I think with the exception of maybe a slight creamy figginess and the tonka bean, which is what you really smell when this dries down, I'm not particularly sure that there's much here that explains how this smells. Like I said, it literally has an effervescent fizzy smell that makes me feel like there is both cola and violet in this, and then it's like creamy and it gets sweeter, and it's like, I think you can kind of recognize fig, but it's just a very interesting concoction of different notes that kind of gives it a totally different vibe than I was expecting it to have. And I will talk to you more about American cream next week, because the ingredients in that are a much better way to look at that rather than the actual notes in that Lush give you. But it's almost like I could wear American cream all day, daytime perfume, brilliant, and then wear this in the evening, because I find this one, if I wear it all day, I find it a little bit much. It begins to get a little bit sickly if I've had it on for too long, or if I like trying to go through the whole day, or if I respray it. But I really like it in the evening, so this is something I like for like maybe 4 hours, and then I'm ready to move on to something else. And so I kind of feel like this is the nighttime kind of cola-y, violet-y version of the American cream. And then I was thinking, the Pascal Morabito, the one that I'm actually going to probably declutter, because I again, it's one that one feels more daytime appropriate, but like this, I don't like to wear it for too long. That one feels like the citrusy version of this. So anyway, randomly I just decided to wear that one in the evening, and I really enjoyed it. It's a night is correct. It feels like an evening perfume, and I think it's lovely. So that's another one that's an absolute bargain. Okay, and then so I was looking at the Mario collection. I wanted to get a cool bath bomb for my husband, just one of the fun ones, and I also wanted to smell this. This is a limited edition. This is that moment when I feel like I'm sorry if that's made everything a bit wonky, but these blooming Lush things are massive. I will definitely decant this into something more attractive. So this is Princess Peach. This is a body spray from Lush with, as you can see, it's a Super Mario Brothers movie collab. This is 200ml. It's £30. So that is £5 more expensive than the American cream perfume. But I tried this out on my way home. So I sprayed it in the shop and I let it dry down. I wandered around Lush a bit. And it did last, I'd say you got like decent 4 hours out of this, which for a body spray is crazy, right? But incredibly good value. So Princess Peach, this is limited edition. You can get it online and you can get it in the flagship store in Oxford Circus, but I don't know whether you can get it in other Lushes. But this says unleash sweet notes of juicy peach and fresh pineapple, fit for the monarch of the mushroom kingdom. I want to see if you can see how violent this sprayer is. Woo! It does a really good big spray. It almost, weirdly, when I just smell it from the nozzle, it almost has a watermelon-y kind of smell to it. Oh, it's everywhere now. Let me just clean that up. I smell my finger. So it does have a pineapple smell. If you, I've just realised, I didn't think about this yesterday, but if you know what fruit salad chewy sweets smell like, this is kind of what this smells like. It definitely weirdly has a bit of a watermelon vibe to it. At first, tangy like pineapple, and then almost watermelony, and then a bit of peachiness. But generally, it just smells like a sherbety sweet. It definitely has like a proper fruit salad, chewy sweets vibe. Yeah, it totally does. It's not particularly natural smelling. It's not something that you would enjoy if you don't like really kind of slightly childish perfumes. And I say that with all love, because I like this quite a lot. The same way I like Snow Fairy, I like a lot of the Lush perfumes and body sprays that are kind of really appropriate for like anyone from a super young age. I love sherbety, fruity perfume, so I'm like into it. I think it's really pretty. I wonder if I might wear this evening. But what I was going to say is, again, my general feeling about Lush is that if you look at the ingredients, it's kind of helpful, because sometimes the way they describe things doesn't necessarily represent what they actually smell like, because as far as I can tell, there's no pineapple in this. So it's got sweet orange oil, it's got olibanum, it's got champaca, which is like a citrusy floral, it's got benzoyl, it's got cinnamol, it's got geraniol, which is kind of like a rosy geranium. It's got, I don't really recognise the other thing, butcher oil, I don't know what that is, but yeah, it's just that combination they've got going on here. I think, like I said, maybe a bit pineapple-y at first, but mainly almost like a juicy sweet watermelon, not a natural one, again, like a Jolly Rancher watermelon, and then a really sherbety peach. It's tangy, but it's super sweet as well. It is kind of Snow Fairy level of sweetness, but maybe a bit more tangy. It's so cute. It's really cute. I think if you like sherbety, light fruity smells, you'd really like this one. It's noticeable. You can totally smell it. It's got some throw on this one, and like I said, it lasted for about 4 hours. I think if you got your clothes, this would last all day. There's something. It's definitely, now I'm smelling it again, when I'm away from the general Lush vibe, I'm definitely getting a slight watermelony Jolly Rancher smell, which I really enjoy. So it's going to be really nice for kind of spring, summer. Maybe a little bit too sweet for me. It does get sweeter the more it dries down. It definitely gets sweeter and sweeter. Yeah, it's super pretty. I really like it. I totally recommend this one. I think it's a good one. Absolutely beautiful. Totally recommend Princess Peach. It's really fun. So like I said, I've left the link below if you want to do the buy me a coffee thing, which would be amazing, because I have got a wish list, which I will actually put on there at some point. I'll add my wish list of things that I'm saving up for and trying to kind of fund, and get money for to buy. So that's everything. I hope everyone had a lovely, lovely week, and I will see you all again next week.